Excuse me. Can I quit this podcast?
I told Eddie Murphy to stay in college so he'd have something to fall back on.
I did great advice.
Here we are. Welcome to another episode of Yes, Stand Up.
That was the same intro we use every week.
That's the point.
Every week.
And you complain about it every week. It's a good intro and people are used to it. And let's get started.
You didn't say people like it. You said people are used to it.
I hedged a little there. Peter Bales here.
It's not bad. Don't get me wrong. It's not bad. I don't want to insult our producer because God knows he'll turn off my microphone or something.
All right. Peter Bales here.
So our guest did not show?
He's sitting right there.
When did he come in?
I snuck in.
You didn't shave for the show? I shaved for the show. You just don't.
No.
This
This is a fashion choice. There's a certain look of being a day or two unshaven, and I'm trying it out. What do you think?
They keep telling me that, and all these people they all have a beard, but it's not a beard. And they actually have razors that shaves it, but it doesn't shave it. This is your world. It's not my world anymore.
That's Jackie the Joke Man Martling, and let's get to our guest, if we may.
Thank you very much.
We have a terrific comedian whom I've known for decades.
Yes.
And his name is Joe Currie.
You didn't tell me you knew Bales.
Yes.
Forever I've known this guy. We've worked so many bad gigs all over the place.
And I owe it to you because I remember there was one when I first started at the brokerage. Gary wouldn't let me on. And I gave him a tape and he was a Sunday night. And he said, I'll put you in Peter Bales' show. And he asked, he goes, Peter, can this guy go in? You're like, yeah. He goes, Peter, and you said, just put him in the show. And I owe you that because I got in there and thank you. And also I took up stand-up university. And there are so many things. I took that 20 years ago. And till this day, I will be on stage and the old situation comes up and I go, Peter says to do this. Well, Peter reminds me to do this. And Jackie.
So what was the name of your university? Simon Says?
You have
That's
just...
so funny that Gary Smith would not let you in his show because a lot of people didn't want to give Gary Smith a club.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, you have just irritated Jackie to no end.
No, I love
a great free
I
club.
love Bales's stupid university.
Stand-up university.
I go all the time, and a good friend of mine is taking his course right now, but I haven't said anything to him.
Well,
no, but I know it because she said something to me.
And you,
it's
Peter,
really fun keeping a secret in Babel.
and Peter, I've known for years. I idolized you. I've always wanted to be like you, the guy that's done.
Well, then reach under the table.
I might have to.
But we've worked together a bunch of times.
We worked together a bunch of times, but it's like Anthony Cumey and I. We listened to the Stern Show religiously. We taped and we would sit there and go, God, we want to be these guys. Ant wanted to be Howard. I wanted to be you, sliding the bits in and stuff like that. And now that I'm on terrestrial radio, syndicated radio, I'm that guy. And I have you to thank for that.
Well, you're being very nice to Jackie.
Yeah.
You wanted to be like...
You notice I didn't interrupt him?
No, but I'm sitting here, you want to be Jackie, but...
It's so funny because I get credit from a lot of people for that. But all I did was write down something for somebody to say, which is not exactly inventing the wheel.
No, but it's major.
But it was unique.
But
majorly
that
important.
Thing was something's going live and picking up in a bit and sliding something in and watching it roll. It's just, there's nothing like that. It's amazing.
I always say the same thing. If you write a movie or if you're in a movie and you do something funny, with any luck, in a year or two, you're going to go to the theater and see it and hope people like it. If you're a stand-up comic, maybe you think of something that day and maybe try it that night and maybe it'll get a laugh. When you're on the air, you write something and 5 or 10 seconds later, it goes flying out there. And you just got to assume that they all laugh because you got no choice but to go on to the next thing.
Yeah, but you don't know. It goes flying out there, but you don't hear the response.
You have no idea.
There was one time,
unless you're completely, totally confident which I've
But
never been.
sometimes
I've never
I
been.
was on Opie and Anthony one day, and there was a comment, and I slid a bit in, and it was about Lincoln or something like that, and it didn't get anything. But I was at the club about 2 weeks later. I see Tim Gage, and he looks at me and goes, "Lincoln, very funny." And it made my night.
That's Tim Gage, a
Yeah.
very funny Long Island comedian who has just a great line. He talks about being a forklift operator here on Long Island, and he goes to the
A
audience.
what
A
operator?
forklift operator.
Operator.
Forklift.
And then he follows up with a funny line. I know what you're thinking. White privilege.
Yeah.
But
That's
Tim.
That's
Tim
so
Gage.
sad.
One of my favorite lines he has is when he's talking about the guy at work that figures out what the Yankees should do. And he's like, well, if the Steinbrenners come in, I'll bring them over to the welding table and we'll get this straightened out. It kills me every time.
So, Joe, tell us about
Steinbrenner's used to own the Yankees for you people watching in Alaska.
the family still does.
The Yankees cannot lose tonight.
Tomorrow night, actually. But
Well, that's why they can't lose tonight.
that's right. They can't lose tonight.
They're not playing.
Now, Joe Currie.
You fell for it. I like that.
No, you made a mistake and then you covered. That's what just happened.
I made no mistake. That was
Now,
totally planned,
We got
which
a
I
guy,
don't like to do.
We got a guy here, Joe Currie. Explain your connection to Opie and Anthony.
Oh, sure. Very, very simple. In 1977, Joe Currie, Anthony's brother, moved back from California, said, my brother is going to be coming here in a couple of weeks. When high school starts, meet him and hang out. And I met Anthony, and we were both sophomores in high school, and we made each other crack up hysterically.
Is this in Suffolk?
This is in Elwood, John
No
High
idea
School.
where Elwood is. That in Suffolk?
Elwood is in Huntington. Yeah, it's in Suffolk.
In Huntington. Okay.
Suffolk. There's more than life out of Bayville, Jackie. It's another world.
Yeah, there's Oyster Bay.
You get Center Road, you know.
That's it.
I don't know where Elwood is.
Anything
There's
past-
Elmont, Elwood.
Anything past 25A. I don't know where it is.
Yeah. Who cares?
So John Glenn High School. So we meet, and we just started cracking each other up, and we wound up writing bits and this, and that, and the other thing. 1985, I worked at Walt Whitman Fence in Melville, and my buddy goes, "There's a guy starting tomorrow." And this is 1985. A guy starting tomorrow. Very funny guy. I go to high school with him. You're going to get along with him. And the next day, Adam Ferrara shows up.
Adam Ferrara, Long Island comedian, going on to great success.
Yes. And Adam and I would just crack up and make each other laugh the whole day long. So I go to Anthony's apartment that night.
Oh, you didn't mean starting on the radio. You mean starting to work with you.
Yeah, working with building fences.
Wow.
So
He is going way back.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So,
but I like this. Go ahead.
yeah. So basically I go to Anthony's apartment. I go, look, there's a guy you have to meet. And I go, he's one of us. He goes, we got our friends. I go, you don't understand. He's one of us. And we went to the OBI 2 nights later, and then we just wound up being fast friends. And how Adam got started is when Adam got out of college, he said, look, I did what my dad wants. I want to try to do stand-up. So he goes, I'm going to go to East Side Comedy and see if I can get a spot. And I go, you got to be a professional. He goes, well, I'm going to go anyway. So he meets Richie, and Richie says there's an open mic on that Thursday.
Richie Minervini, the owner of the East Side Comedy Club on Long Island.
And Adam goes down there, and he has a fantastic set. Richie takes a liking to him. Tom and Gengo
And
Jegno. I always
Tom and
sorry,
Jegno,
Tommy.
who's the partner of my dear girlfriend Barbara Klein in Omnipop Talent.
Yes, great guy. So they took a liking, and Adam gets going. 2 years later, I get rolling, thanks to the help of you getting me in. And then Anthony,
How did he help you?
he helped me get into one of the clubs and start to get
But
spots.
how?
Oh, like I said, when I went down to the brokerage, I gave Gary my tape, and Gary.
No, you're supposed to plug his stupid university.
Oh, stand up. Well, that comes later. Stand up university.
Oh.
Okay.
Which
I don't
was
know his whole timeline.
All right.
God,
So
I fell asleep 10 minutes ago.
I'm trying to make it interesting, Jackie. I'm sorry.
I'm interested about how
I'm
Opie
only
and
kidding.
Anthony came together
So-
to be so successful.
Right. So how Opie and Anthony started, we had a band called Rot Gut. Rot Gut, we did parodies, and we did a parody. It was 1994, when the whole OJ thing came about.
Yeah.
And we did a parody, electric shock OJ to Sitting on the Dock of the Bay. Play the parody, and Opie liked it. So Anthony goes down to WBAB with his brother Joe to do the song, and Anthony knew that night that door was creaking open, and every imitation he could, everything he could. And what happened was Opie took a liking to him and said, do you want to come on? And he would go on BAB, he would go on Buckman show, he'd do, Opie's show. And then Opie got the opportunity to go up to WAAF in Boston. And he said,
Buckman was still, what year is this?
oh God, we're going back 1996.
But Buckman
97.
was still there.
Still there. He was doing the morning
Because
show.
Buckman's the first guy that put me on the radio in 1980.
Oh God, yeah, he was there. He was
Local morning guy,
Yeah.
WBAB
Bob
here on
Buckman,
Long Island.
WBAB, a local. It's a local station, but it's more than it's Long
It's a
Island
powerful
station.
Long Island station.
Yes.
And Bob Buckman now, I hear, is doing programming for Sirius XM.
A couple
good.
channels,
Yeah.
Good. So and Anthony wound up being an AAF, and then what happened was they have after they said the mayor of Boston died, they had to go and be punished. But during that during that period, they got a opportunity to get down to WNEW, and they took it and they started and they became very, very big. And then they wound up getting on Sirius XM, and then they doing very well. Unfortunately, when they were on Sirius XM, there was a whole instance that Ant took a picture of somebody harassed him, and they wound up letting him go. He wound up starting Compound Media because he had a studio in his basement already, and he started there. It grew, and
I did that show a bunch of times.
Oh yeah,
his basement in Roslyn.
Yeah,
it was beautiful.
Yeah.
But you know, he actually, Compound Media actually offered me a show, and I did a test show and sat there for an hour and with big screens, and they had a great engineer. So every time I mentioned something, he found it on the web. I'm like, wow, this is like I died and went to heaven. He says, yeah, we want you to work here. And his agent at the time, who I'm glad to say that is now dead.
Oh yeah.
Gave me a contract like that. And I'm like, there's no way I'm going to go through this or hire a lawyer to go through a list. And my fear was that if I sat there and did my stories, that then if I wanted to write a book, that they could say, oh, no, we own those stories, which I didn't know. So I just said,
but
thanks, but
that
no
stuff
thanks.
happens. Yeah. But when you and him were on, I would just sit there and hang on every word because, like I said, we wanted to be you guys.
Oh, it was so much
bad.
fun.
So
Sitting
bad.
with him was so much
So
fun.
it was amazing. And he is one of the
what made Opie and Anthony successful? What did you see happen?
I saw that Opie would steer the ship, and then it was just the brilliance of Anthony. Anthony is one of the most brilliant comedic minds ever. And I saw this. And what happened was when I started to do stand-up after Adam, Anthony would sit at home. He didn't want to leave. I go, why don't you come out and go to and meet the guy? No, I'm going to watch TV. And I would, Peter, I would go do a mic or something like that again, and know one of the most brilliant comedic minds on this planet was sitting at home watching TV. And when he finally, when he got on the radio and people started to see this brilliance, I remember I was up at Mohegan and he never wanted to do stand-up. And it was Mohegan's son when they were doing the Virus tour, and he goes up and he does 20 minutes on the night before at the casino with the guys. And I'm sitting in the green room at the arena, and Opie's wife now says, he's doing stand-up. I go, I know he is. And he destroyed. He comes back on the ground. I go, you just did a solid 20. Yeah, I go, it used to now that he's doing stand-up, it is so amazing because basically as musicians, we've done everything as musicians. We drank with Sammy Hagar, we hung out with Lemmy, our band played this, but as comics, up until 2 years ago, we never worked together. And going out on those the Comedians of the Compound tours was just amazing that him and I are now working together as stand-ups. Doing it with Adam, I've been working with Adam together for 20 years. So, that it's always been great, but now that we're contemporaries, now we're doing with Ant, we never were. So it's just beyond amazing.
Now, to be fair, what was the impact of Stern, the influence of Stern on Opie and Anthony's success?
The just learning what to do and what not to do.
That was the mountaintop that they wanted to get to, but it's not that they weren't as, we just had a head start.
Yeah. And he would take a different tact on things because we studied you guys. We talked about those shows and we studied you guys, what to do, what not to do. We
stole so much from you guys. I'm joking.
But it's so funny because people like, we got to figure out how they do what they do. And the truth was that Howard would just start talking, and Fred would play sound effects and I'd write jokes, and Robin would giggle if a baby got hit by a truck. So it was that simple.
The chemistry. When did you first notice the chemistry between Opie and Anthony?
You noticed it when they first started because Opie knew how to steer everything. and then let Anthony roll with it.
Yeah.
Now as the more comics came on, one of the things that frustrated Opie, and Opie's always been good to me. I have no ill will to him. But the one thing is that Opie was not a comic, and you can't learn to be a comic. You have to be born. You have to have that. It's like being a painter. You can learn to be a better painter. You can't learn to be a painter.
You're not born with it. What you're born with is that, or you acquire the desire to do it.
And the timing.
Which is, but the time, all that comes with a real basic desire to do it, because it makes you want to do it right. And
the thing about it, the timing was a thing. For example, Jim Norton and Ant would be on a roll. And we all know that when you're on a roll, if there might be a lull, but as a comic, there's more in the tank. Opie didn't realize
somebody would,
and Opie didn't. I don't know if Howard did, but Opie didn't. Or Gary. But in their end, Opie didn't realize that sometimes, and then go, "Oh, let's go to a phone call." And Jimmy and Ant would look at him. It's like we don't, because he didn't have that time. As another,
you'd be rolling and rolling, then taking a breath to let the audience absorb what he said already.
Exactly.
And before he's, that.
And if you don't have comic, if you don't have that comic, you don't realize that it doesn't.
Bales does that to me.
Constantly. You talked before about steering the ship. Jackie and I, we don't believe in steering the ship. We like to run up. We run up on the rocks.
We've been aground for 5 years. For absolutely no reason, I'm saying hello to somebody.
Okay, go ahead.
Hello to my friend Tom Austin, who was out there in Ramsey, New Jersey. I met him at your music guy. That's why I'm saying this. At a Frankie Valli concert. And I'd been only off the show for a year or two, and it was a Frankie Valli concert, not with the Four Seasons, just Frankie Valli at the Englewood Cliffs. And I went there, and, I knew people that knew him. So I went backstage. And here's this guy who turned out to be Tom Austin. He's about 6'5". And he came up to me and said, "Oh, man, I'm the biggest fan." And he was the drummer in a band called the Royal Teens. And their hit in 1957 was, "Who Wears Short Shorts?"
Oh, God.
Yeah.
So meanwhile, that was right the year when all the people that had hits that year got on a bus and did their tours. So he was on tour with 10 or 12 of the big acts. And meanwhile, they had that hit. So he hung out, and his stories were unbelievable. So he's telling me stuff, and he's bent over, and I'm laughing my ass off. And Frankie Valli came over and grabbed me, and he pulled me to the side and said, "Who the fuck are you?" I said, "I was on this radio show, Frank."
That's hysterical.
Isn't that great?
I got to tell you.
But I just want to say hello to Tom, because we recently got back in touch. You're a music guy. You're a music guy.
Keyboard player, yeah. And I got to tell you, I got the book. I read your book, and there's so many great stuff. One of the favorite one, when you guys were at that barbecue, you were talking about there was a barbecue you guys were at, and I forgot that it was a great story.
The one with Rodney?
I think so.
Oh, I was there.
Yeah, that's yeah.
That's still not a believable story.
It's true.
Absolutely true.
I was there. Wow.
Great fun.
That's terrific. So you got a podcast going now?
I got 2 of them. I got Davin's Den, which we're live tomorrow night on Talk. Well, actually, we're live tomorrow night on our Facebook page.
Who's Gavin? Who's Gavin?
Davin Rosenblatt. Davin Rosenblatt.
Oh, that Rosenblatt.
Yeah, and that Rosenblatt. And we're live tomorrow. We're on Facebook. We also are on Talk Media. We're syndicated on Talk Media Network. So you go on Talk Media Network. I think we're down south. We're over here. But like I said, I'm the second mic, and it's just thanks to you, just making, sliding the bits in and stuff.
Jump in when you can.
Right? Yeah.
My goodness.
I also do another podcast called Red, Right, and True with Bonnie Scalisi. We do it every first Wednesday of the month, but we're actually doing it on the 15th of the schedule. So it's going to be, and we also have my co-host.
I hope you folks at home are taking notes.
Please watch. And so we'll be doing that on October.
Bonnie
15th.
Scalisi, I know her. I think she studied comedy at a place that the name is escaping me.
Oh, the Gary Smith Comedy Hour?
Yes, the Gary Smith Comedy Hour.
I have my diploma hanging on my wall. 1998.
Do you see
was
the
he still
impact?
doing back then? Was he still doing them in crayon?
Yeah, but
How's Sandy doing?
Sandy's
our girl.
our girl is Sandy. Now listen, are there rules in comedy? Yes, but rules are made to be broken.
Yeah.
And I, you know what? And you will totally understand this.
There's two rules in comedy. You don't tell jokes and you don't laugh at yourself. And that's all I do. So don't talk to me about don't talk to me about breaking rules.
And let me tell you something.
Breaking balls.
Okay.
And let me tell you something. Your fans love you. When I opened for you,
He was trying to say something. See,
I'm sorry. I don't know how to.
He just did what he complained.
Did I step on you?
No, not a problem.
Well, he had a
not a problem.
He had a point, but he doesn't remember.
No,
that
I
he had
do
a
remember the point.
You don't remember.
The point is, comedy works in threes.
Mm.
Set up, punch.
Right.
But sometimes, not often, but sometimes it works in twos or in fours.
Yeah.
You have to just sometimes feel it. Sometimes I say to comedy students, I can't even explain this. And I've been teaching this for 26 years. Sometimes you just have to feel it. You just have to have a sense of what's going on.
Yeah.
And
The only rule I ever had when people asked me, I used to say, because I believe it or not, I actually had an act at one point. It wasn't just all jokes. I said, if you have something, you try it. If it gets a laugh, it stays in. If it doesn't get a laugh, you try it again. If it doesn't get a laugh, the third time, it goes out. If you say something that you don't even think is that funny and it gets a laugh, it stays in. And I kept that rule with jokes. There's jokes in my act that I just don't understand why they do as well as they do, but they do really well. And there's always jokes that you love. And every once in a while I say, I'm going to break this one out and I'm going to get my heart broken. And I'll tell one of my favorite jokes and they'll stare at you and like, motherfucker.
Yeah. And you know what? It's always that.
But the audience is never wrong.
No.
Right.
And people ask you about this. Are they laughing at it? Well, yeah. Well, that's the end of the story. That's the end of the story.
There's no, they were laughing, but there's no but.
Yeah. And one of the most frustrating things is that you write a joke during the day and you go, this can't miss. This can't, they're gonna walk me out on their shoulders to ticker tape, and you go up and you do the joke and you're hoping the car's running because it bombs.
When I do a new joke for the first time,
when was that?
Actually, that's fair. That's a fair criticism. I try every decade I throw in something new.
Yeah.
So Jerry Seinfeld, 1979, said to me, if a joke works 9 out of 10 times, you have to drop it. And he's 100% right. Given the conditions.
What does he know?
I know.
What has he done?
What's he done?
No, but you understand. I mean, if conditions are right, a joke should work 10 out of 10 times.
Mm-hmm.
All right. If the audience is super drunk or the heat's not working or the sound isn't good well, then that doesn't count as one of the 10 because comedy is very delicate. But if the audience is good and every conditions are good and it should work, well, then 10 out of 10 is what you need.
But but it's so.
Or if the time it doesn't work, you don't work there again.
Yeah. But even
which has happened to you.
Even sometimes you get the psyche of an audience. I was working in Scranton one time. Yeah, I'm bragging. Sorry, fellas. I'm working in Scranton. I'm emceeing the show. And I go up and the audience, it was a Saturday night show. Upstairs is a regulation show. Downstairs is a soccer fundraiser. I go up, I do the opening spot, which usually is a tough spot. I do 10 to 15, slammed. Go back downstairs, do the exact same material because they're not as invested in it. I go up to do the middle spot before the headliner, which 5 minutes, slammed. Go back down, do that same 5 minutes. So it's
so you're blaming the downstairs audience?
You know what? You shouldn't.
So you're saying drunken soccer players are not the ideal audience.
It's never. And that thought sometimes. Oh well, it's never. You're blaming the. Yeah, in that context of that weekend, that night, I am. Because it's just and sometimes you just have to dial in and try to find
that he remembers bombing in Scranton, which was without even asking, I bet it was 10 years ago, and he's still carrying that.
50. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, every comedian.
I'll tell you what happened to me in 1989 if you want.
Yeah.
Every comedian bombs. All right, and I had recently a comedian told me, you're not going to believe this, man. I've been doing comedy 5 years, so he's pretty new. I've never bombed. And now I just looked at him and I thought to myself, well, that's absurd. I've seen you bomb several times.
What he meant was he's never gotten physically hurt.
He's never.
Thank you.
I came into the comic strip late.
Wait. So what happened with that guy? You just said-
Nothing. No, nothing. I walked away and I.
But
shook my
that
hand.
is terrific.
That
if
is-
that's his attitude, that's golden.
I disagree. I think he's clueless. And I think everybody bombs, and you have to be honest with yourself when it happens, because it happens to everybody. It's part of the process.
Yeah. And my theory is there's 3 shows out of the year.
But how are you going to tell that to John Trusa?
Oh my God.
Oh, I love John.
Oh my God. You trying to get everybody in trouble here?
No, just you.
Me, I adore John.
I love him.
Good kisser.
Yeah. But I say, to me personally, there's 3 shows out there in the year that you try to make it one, but that you don't know what happened. No, you listen back to the tape. Have no. I did a show in Roslyn about a year and a half ago. I'm closing, was in this restaurant. I bombed for 45 minutes, and I don't know why. You know, I'm sure you guys would tell me why, but you guys would have thoughts.
I would say it's because the mic was on.
Yeah, probably. You know what, Jackie? At least that
You
would
know
have
what's
been a
the greatest?
reason.
What's the greatest is if you do that and you walk off, and people come up and sincerely say how great you were and how much they enjoyed it. That always throws me. You know, if there's people you absolutely see didn't smile one time and they come up and say you were so great.
Yeah. You know
that must be an incredible feeling.
You know,
I have no idea.
But you know what is a tough gig? Opening for Jackie. Do you want to see him? And that's it.
I love Jackie's crowd.
I've come up, and you know what?
But you did fine. He always does great.
But still, you're up there and go, I want to see Jackie too. So I
listen,
get it.
So
half of my crowd doesn't even remember who they came to see.
I don't know if I've told this on the podcast before, but I came running into the.
We've done this for 5 years. I would go all out. I would go all out and say you've
The
said it
chance
4 or
of
5
this
times.
happening might have been.
There's a Seinfeld story I tell, and he's count when I tell it. He goes, "That's the 4th time."
This will be the 5th.
And no, I'm not. This is a different story. So I came into the comic strip. It must have been 79 or 80, and I got there late, and the show was going on, and Seinfeld's hanging out. And I go, "So how's the show going?" And he goes, "Let me put it this way: the comedians tonight are not trying to get laughs. We're just trying to hold the stage as our own territory." Isn't that a great?
That's like Betty's Fireside. That's the same thing as Betty's Fireside.
Consider it's the 3rd or 4th time. That's relatively new. That story.
But so Joe just mentioned Betty's Fire. Did you ever do Betty's
I
Fire?
am one of the only people I've ever met in this business that never did that place.
That was a rite of passage.
Back in
room.
the 80s, and I don't know how long it
And
went.
it went into the 9 and the aughts. Early
was that
aughts.
around the corner from Catch a Rising Star?
No, that was over in Denville,
Yeah.
New Jersey.
The worst, anybody who played it, would the absolute worst comedy club ever.
Why would you even think
the
for a second it'd be anything but the worst with the name Betty's Fireside?
It used to be a strip club, and
Yeah.
and you know, there was a bar, and then there was a space for the bartender, and behind the bartender was where the comics stood, where the strippers stood,
which is how they have it set up now at the Parks Casino, and it is impossible.
Oh, really?
Look, you could pee on the bartender's shoulder if you weren't getting laughs.
How
you
did
know?
that go for you?
Oh, well, I killed. Wait, was anybody there?
Hysterical.
I killed. No, I did terrible.
All right, listen to me. We have to do some.
Tom Austin, I will see you. He's 86, and we're
Yeah,
going
but
to
let's
lunch.
just
We'll
remind
tell
everybody.
stories about the elegance and the Duprees and the association. These
The
groups from
Duprees are famous.
10
forever.
billion years ago.
Association?
All right.
She wears short shorts.
All right.
The-
Now listen, we
The
are at a,
connection of the Royal Teens and Short Shorts is the guy who wrote Short Shorts is Bob Gaudio,
all
who
right.
went on to write all of the hits of the 4 seasons.
You're learning.
That's the
You're-
connection.
Music
Really?
history. Now we are at Paradise Studios in Massapequa, Long Island. Podcasting, video, anything you need, come down here and check it out. They got all different kinds of studios, all different studios.
Studios.
They have
I knew at
studios.
some point you would really muff a word.
Okay.
I shouldn't
Studio.
use
They have
that
all
word.
kinds of studios. They have all kinds of studios here, all kinds of facilities. You can do anything you want
It's
to do.
pretty
here.
incredible, this
It is
place.
Yes.
incredible. Paradise Studios in Massapequa, and they have a network, and we're on the network, and the network is called Strong Island Television.
Right.
So keep that in mind. Paradise Studios.
And it's right next to the Massapequa train station for a quick escape.
Conveniently
It is.
located.
If you really
It
suck,
is, and the guy who
you
runs
can get
this
out
place,
of here.
is Bobby, and he is as nice as can be. So
And Teresa is on just before us, but not tonight, which is a shame because it's nothing like going in and seeing her beautiful cans before we start.
I mean,
that
you know,
gets me
do you
wild.
think that helps our show in any way?
It helps me. What do I care about our show?
I love
All right.
Teresa.
What show? I do too.
This has been fun. The time has gone fast. This is comedian Joe Currie.
Yes.
Actually, it means a lot. The things that you said, I appreciate.
Well, it's all true, you guys.
And-
you guys are. You're the.
I know
you're-
you are all those stories were actually very, very great.
And thank you, Joe. Just
My
simple that,
pleasure. My pleasure, guys.
being
I'm very
here.
humbled
We'd
to be
love
here.
to have you back.
Come again, just not
And-
soon.
Yeah. That's on any podcast.
And this
Love
has
that.
We need more people. We'll see you in 3 years. Okay, it's fine. I'll be
this
there.
has been another
go.
episode of Stand Up Memories. I want to thank, as always, the man who made this. all
Tell
po-
people how to find this because I had to ask Michael Zinn, our producer, because Tom Austin wanted to watch tonight. You got to go to YouTube's.
We're-
to
not
YouTube's.
The YouTube.
YouTube.
You got to
and
go
then
to the
Strong
YouTube.
Island TV.
We're on the interweb. I understand.
I can't believe I said YouTube.
I can't believe you said it either.
Well, I said studio before.
so we're
listen,
even.
standupmemories.com. We're on all the platforms, especially Strong Island Television. And of course,
But let me
on
ask you a question.
YouTube.
Are we still on?
we're on
Standupmemories.com?
Stand
I thought we weren't on
Stand.
that
Stand Up We
Memories.com.
are still on that.
on that URL.
Yes.
You sure?
Standupmemories.com. Look behind you on the screen. It says standupmemories.com. We're on that. And I want to
Okay.
thank everybody.
All right. Yeah, it's fine.
You're sure?
Jackie, for a computer, he has a Commodore 64. That's Jackie's computer that he's on.
That's another old group that Tom Austin was in.
Commodores.
This has been Stand Up Memories. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.